Hey, welcome back, man. We about to get started. We're gonna finish watching the Llama Arts 2017 compilation video, man. Just to fill y'all in again, man. I get scared, so we gonna tune in, try to finish this video, see if I can get, you feel me, any chills or anything. I doubt it though. Let's get started though.
In the year 2009, I was spending a weekend with my uncle on his ranch when my parents were renovating the new house we had just bought. It was my second night there, a Saturday, and it happened to be during one of the biggest thunderstorms of the year. I'd say there were at least 3 crashes of thunder and lightning per minute. And we were in the heart of the storm because the thunder would crash not even a second after the lightning would. I always enjoyed listening to storms while laying in bed. So I stayed up a little later watching.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I hear that all the time. I don't understand it though. It's just noise to me, man. I would be able to go to sleep. I'll probably go to sleep fast too with like some rain on, but I don't get it. Like it don't benefit my sleeping.
TV, just enjoying the ambiance. After the movie I was watching finally ended, I turned off the TV and tried to fall asleep. As I heard the lightning strike from outside, I could have sworn I heard some kind of metallic thud coming from outside at the same time. I didn't pay it too much mind. 20 seconds later, I could have sworn I heard it again. A very distinct metallic thud coming from outside to match the timing of the lightning. I really don't mean to make this sound like a cliche horror story, but my uncle really is a kind of creepy guy, and I was never close with him, even remotely. So for that reason, I didn't feel right.
So look, man. If I wasn't close to my uncle and they was creepy guys, bro, I don't care that we related. I wouldn't be there. But that's not true now. You feel what I'm saying? It was just an example.
Going to wake him up. I just tried to forget about it. Now I was getting concerned.
Somebody
what the hell
banging on
could that
something,
be?
bro.
After the third time, I finally got out of bed and walked over to the window of the guest bedroom. The water pouring down on the window made it extra hard to see what was out there in the dark fields. A flash of lightning momentarily lit up the property, but I couldn't see anything. However, once again, the sound of a metal...
Oh, nope, not gonna talk about nobody else. That's on me, bro.
The sound was so close now. It sounded like it was coming from the left of the window at a blind spot. I was going to do something I knew my uncle wouldn't be happy about.
Cleft chin, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
It would be a bit messy, but I was going to open the window and peer outside to see if I could see what the sound was. I unhooked the window lock and slid it up, and immediately the wind of the storm blew drops of rain into the room and onto me. I stuck my head out the window and looked to the left, and at that very moment, lightning lit up the property once again, and I could see a person dressed in all black crouched down by the outside basement door with his hand raised in the air. And before the sky went dark, I caught the briefest glimpse of what the sound was coming from. The person was bashing at the basement door lock. I pulled my head in and quietly shut the window, making sure to lock it. I was in a panic. I feared he might have seen or heard me. I ran back to bed and pretended to be asleep, facing away from the window. Lightning crashed once again.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I would have opened that window. I would have seen it. I would have thought I was tripping, so I would have yelled at dude, bro, on some slow shit, man. Like, bro, if I was peeping, bro, was out there doing that clanking, bro, and it wasn't my uncle, bro, pop my head out the window. What the fuck are you doing? Nah, I'm trying to sleep in here, bro. You gotta move on. You gotta move. I don't care that you're trying to break in right now, bro. Come back in 3 hours, bro. When I'm well rested, you could try it again.
But this time, there was no metallic thud. My heart must have dropped as I realized this. I just stayed put in bed for the longest time, hoping whoever was out there would go away. After maybe 3 more lightning crashes without any thuds accompanying them, I thought it would be safe to go tell my uncle. I turned to face the window and screamed. There was a figure, clear as day, standing at the window, looking in at me. I screamed as loud as I could and ran straight to my...
Now look, I'm gonna tell you what you do in that situation, man. You just turned around and somebody staring at you in the window. I'm gonna tell you what you need to do. You need to lock eyes with dude. You need to run, and you need to hit him with a flying spear through the window. That is the last thing that they will ever expect you to do. They're gonna expect you to like, if you scream, you done. Like, bro, it's fight or flight. Now, I don't know how to fly, so I gotta fight. My fault.
My uncle's room. He went outside with his hunting rifle with nothing on but his pajamas, not even socks. He ran around the entire property yelling like a madman, but didn't find anyone. The next morning, we were able to better see the marks on the basement door lock. It was almost bashed open. Maybe 3 or 4 more good hits would have done it, according to my uncle. He was proud of me for picking up on it. Luckily, I was out of there that same day. My uncle hasn't told us of any incidents since, so I think he's been okay. Not that we talked to him much at all.
No,
I'm grateful I stayed up a little later that night watching that movie, because I may have just stopped the robbery, or possibly much worse.
It's time. Black Friday doorbusters just dropped. Take great sound anywhere and save 30.
Snapchat stories, bro. I ain't been on Snapchat in so long, bro. It's downloaded.
This happened a week ago.
But,
Up until a few days ago, I went to a small local gym in my now previous New Jersey town called Black Bear Fitness. One day, I had the misfortune of running into some skinny...
We're gonna stop right here, bro. What's going on with Cuz shoes, bro? Socks and sandals in the worst way, man. Anytime I see anybody walk... Well, I mess around and do it. It's different with me. If I see you in public, bro, you wearing sandals, bro. Socks, slides, sandals, same thing to me, man. You wearing them with socks, bro, straight up. That's how I imagine your socks look, bro. Even if they black. If they white, you telling it yourself. You feel me? But let's get back to it.
Awkward yet creepy looking kid, probably 18 years old. He didn't look like he belonged in a gym at all. I had headphones in and I was doing my set when I heard him saying something to me, but it was muffled by the music. I was already annoyed with this kid, given that he was breaking an unwritten rule of the gym. Don't try to talk to somebody when they're doing their sets.
No, that's facts, bro. That's facts.
I took my time finishing my set, and then took my headphones out to ask if he needed something. Then he started acting like I looked familiar, but right away I knew this kid was just trying some pathetic attempt at making friends. I assured him I didn't, but the kid wouldn't stop talking to me. I'll skip most of the conversation, but eventually he actually asked me for my Instagram and Snapchat, weirdly enough, and for whatever reason I gave them to him. Instead of just saying something like, "Buddy, I'm trying to work out," or "I don't have social media."
Buddy.
After I gave him my Snapchat and Instagram, however, I did kind of urge him to let me
Let me get this straight, man. Another grown man walks up to you in the gym. This for the men out there. Another grown man walks up to you in the gym, bro, and asks for your socials. Give me your number, bro. And you already don't want to give it to him, but he walks away with your Instagram and your Snapchat. Buddy, you telling on yourself.
My workout. He finally seemed to get the message and walked away. Not without saying bye like 3 times though. That night I got a snap on my phone saying from Sean. I immediately sighed and said, "Oh no." Just wondering why the hell the kid would snap.
Hey. I know what those are.
Me.
On that table.
I opened the snap, and the kid was in a creepy, weird pose.
Well, that's that
face
sleeve.
Way too close to the camera, with his head resting in his hand and a half smile on his face. The text over the picture was "Hey" with 2 Y's. I muttered the words, "What the fuck?"
That's what I'm saying, bro.
For the record, I'm a guy, which made this even more weird.
This is where you gave him your stuff.
My thought process was, I've had enough of this loser already. I'm gonna remove him and make it clear I don't want to talk if I see him at the gym again. And so I did. I removed him minutes after he sent that snap. I'm sure not even a minute later, again, a message popped up on my phone saying Snapchat from Sean. I waited a few minutes before opening it. This one was even creepier. Now the kid was sitting up on his bed, no smile, more of a surprised, angry expression. The text over the image said, "Why did you remove me?" Now I went as far as to block him, meaning he couldn't snap me anymore.
Bro, what?
And that was that. I threw my phone on the desk and sighed out of relief.
Is hot sleep keeping you awake? At Mattress Firm, our sleep experts can match you
Bro,
with a
all this
perfect
ass,
cooling
bro.
mattress. Like
Gotta get
Purple.
mad.
Half an hour later, my phone goes off, saying Sean added you as a friend, and then Snapchat from Sean. He actually made a new account. I opened the snap and felt my heart drop.
Yo, stop it right there, bro. If anybody ever in their life feels the need to send me a picture of my crib from the outside, bro, I'm finna ask for what, bro? I know what my crib look like. I'm gonna invite them in, bro. Just know they might not leave. Cause what you trying to do with this, bro? How do you know where I live? What you trying to intimidate me, bro? Bro, you not God, bro. I'm not scared.
Picture of my front lawn.
Yeah.
The text over it, "Answer me, bitch." The
Answer
first
me,
thing I could
bitch.
think of was, how did he find my address? Then I realized, Snapchat made that new map feature that lets you see where your friends are. Somehow I had the balls to open the window to see outside. It was clear out there. I shut the window and the blinds and started considering calling 911.
Look. I might be slow, bro. I might just be slow and I don't know. Once I would have heard the first knock, bro, I lock in so quick, I would have been at that door opening it already, bro. Like, who this is, bro? Who you feeling like, bro? You knocking on my door now. Now I feel like you trying to scare me, bro. It's not working. This is not working.
It was the sound of taps on the window. I took a deep breath, and with one swift motion, I pulled up the blind and the window at the same time and pulled the kid into my room by his neck.
Oh.
I punched him in the face a few times before he was out cold. Now I called 911. By the time they arrived, he was awake, cursing me out, promising he'd be back and kill me. The cops heard it all. I didn't even have to make a case.
That boy locked in.
The kid was an idiot. Luckily, the timing of this worked out well because
I'm gonna be honest though. Police not coming in the crib, bro. I don't care what happened. Only people coming to my crib is the firefighters and paramedics, bro. The police gonna have to politely stay outside, man.
just moved a couple days ago out of
looking
state.
around too much.
Only thing that worries me, I don't
have nothing to hide though. I don't got nothing to hide. Hey.
want to have to make a new Snapchat account, but anytime somebody new adds me on the app, I'll never know if it's secretly that Sean kid again. I was vacationing in the Bahamas when I was 14 with some family friends. My friend and I were getting some henna tattoos at the hotel, and there was this guy lingering around us. But we didn't think much of it because a lot of people would stop to see what was going on.
Al Pacino, bro.
After mine was done, I told my friend and her mom I was going to go back to the room to get ready for dinner.
Al Capone.
There were two ways to the other side of the hotel, either inside through a bunch of small stores or outside along the pool. I walked through the inside and got to the elevator, where I saw the guy who had been watching us already at the elevator. We got on together, and he gestured for me to choose my floor button first. I clicked it, but he didn't choose another floor. Alarms start going off in my head. But what could I do? I was stuck in an elevator.
This one she looked like. This one she reminded me of real quick. Oh God, I was just thinking that, bro.
Gary,
that was like Dr. Doofenshmirtz daughter, cuz.
But what if I overpay?
I don't care if you overpay, bro.
The elevator stopped on my floor, and I started walking to my room.
He's staring.
In this hotel, most of the rooms faced the ocean, so to the right in this hallway were just windows. I was in the very last room on that floor, and I could see the guy following me about 10 feet behind. About 2 doors from my room, he ran up and grabbed me. I kicked and screamed, and he dropped onto the floor. I ran to the room and locked myself in. After talking with security and giving a description, they found the guy and found out that he had actually been following multiple younger women in the building.
That boy's here to meet a 13-year-old girl. He want him one, bro.
Back in high school, I took a mysteries and mythology type class, or something like that. I don't remember the name of the class.
Yeah.
It basically just had to do with real life mysteries and.
Yo, my professor looked just like that too, bro.
I was taking a class
everything.
with a
You
good
must have been
friend
in the
who
same
I'll call
class,
Ben
bro.
for this story. The teacher of the class took us on a field trip to a nearby
man, he ain't taking me on
abandoned
no field
village
trip,
with
bro.
an unknown past. The village was built in the early 1900s, but seems as though it had been quickly abandoned shortly after it was built. The bus ride there was about 20 minutes. All of us were glued to the bus windows as we pulled up some sketchy-looking, decrepit road cutting through dense forest. The road eventually led to a clearing. We were there. We stepped out onto the road, which had grass growing.
Bro, it
from
looked
the
like they
cracks.
took him to Alcatraz.
The grass surrounding was almost knee-high. Then there were the buildings. The tall, archaic brick buildings with a boarded-up...
Forgive. I didn't mean that.
windows all gave off such chilling vibes.
Yeah.
The teacher
Alcatraz,
lined
that's
all
what I meant.
20 of us up, counted heads, and then began leading the way. The point of this little field trip was to use the so-called skills we learned in class to see if we could put anything together about why the village may have been abandoned so long ago. Some of the buildings had holes in the walls to serve as entryways. There were even holes in the ground next to some of the buildings, seemingly dug to get into the basements of some of the buildings, which seemed creepy. There was one building though. It stood taller than any of the others. It just intrigued me the most. While the teacher was leading the group towards the village church, Ben and I decided to sneak off on our own to look for anything interesting. When we walked off in the direction of the tallest building, we saw a hole in the ground. It was dug by the back door of the building, which had been sealed off. In the hole was a ladder which led down to the concrete floor below. We both looked at each other and knew we had to do it. Ben climbed down first, then me. Luckily, this was just around the time Apple started putting flashlights on their phones, so we had a source of light. It was creepy down there. There were...
That's cap, bro. Bro, I love Apple, bro, but you not getting that type of flashlight from no phone, bro. That's fully clear, bro. And it's a perfect circle, bro. That's not true, bro. That's false advertising.
A couple of beer bottles, one graffiti tag on the wall, and dusty wooden planks everywhere.
It looked like an AK.
There was a wooden stairway which led up to complete darkness, since all windows and doors had been sealed shut from above. We had already gone as far as to enter the building, so we figured we'd go up the stairs too. I went first, and with each step, the creakiness of the 100-year-old wood made me feel as if I was going to fall through each and every step. Ben followed suit. This floor of the building was very tight. It seemed like there were many openings going off into different, smaller rooms. It was so dark in there, you would never even guess it was daytime. Ben and I were honestly starting to get creeped out in there, and agreed to go back outside. But just then, there was a noise in one of the tiny rooms, like a big rock hitting the concrete floor. A normal instinct would be to run, but Ben and I froze, locked eyes for a moment, then both tiptoed over to the opening of the room. We shined the lights into the room and ran. We ran back down the stairs and then up the rusty ladder back outside. We caught up to the group out of breath. We didn't say anything though to avoid getting in trouble. One of our classmates asked us what was wrong. We told him we snuck into one of the buildings, and in one of the rooms, when we shined the light into it, we saw 3 guys standing maybe 10 feet away from the doorway.
Whoa! I'm not scared of these 2 on the left, bro. The left in the middle, that's fine. Now, this nigga right here to the right, bro, there's something mentally wrong with cuz. Now, y'all gonna tell me to the far left there's something wrong with dude? Ain't nothing wrong with him. He's scared, bro. He ain't expect 2 kids to just pull up on him. That dude to the left, though, that dude to the right, though, I don't know, bro. He dressed like the Joker right now, bro. That tells you everything you need to know. The dude in the middle ain't nothing, bro.
Facing Ben and I in a weird formation, as if they were waiting for us. As we continued following the group, we paid extra attention to the tall building we entered from the distance. And before leaving, we saw a person's face at one of the higher level windows that had not been boarded up. We never told the teacher in fear of getting in trouble. We didn't know what to think. Were those just homeless people living in there? Were they gang members in hiding? Ben freaks me out with his theory. He says they were ghosts of the people who once lived in the town. Still, the way the 3 guys were just hauntingly standing there so calmly, staring at us the moment we peeked our heads through that doorway, I still can't get that image out of my head. I may go back to that village one day, just to prove Ben's idea wrong.
Like, that's completely unnecessary, ain't it? Like, why would you go back, though? Nah. I about skipped ahead, bro.
Parents, if your child plays Roblox, listen up. You could qualify for up to $300,000 or more in compensation.
Skip that ad.
Last year on Christmas Eve, I was working late. I'm 23. I work in New York City and commute home every day on the train.
That's expensive.
Since I'm one of the younger ones in the office, I got stuck with one of the worst shifts, so I wasn't able to get home until 5 o'clock. My family had already left a whole hour earlier to go to my cousin's house, so I had to drive alone.
Terrible,
After having a quick snack before the half-hour drive, I got back in my car and put my cousin's address into my phone. Halfway through the drive, it started snowing. I got to my cousin's house around 6 o'clock. It was snowing heavily by this point, and I just made it in time to catch everyone starting dinner. I brought all of my gifts inside and cheerfully said hey to everyone. I stayed until around 11 o'clock. The rest of my family left a little sooner. I stayed an extra half hour or so just to hang out before leaving myself. By the time I was leaving, the ground had accumulated at least 2 feet of snow, and it wasn't even done snowing. The drive home was nightmarish. The roads were hardly even plowed, and I had to drive under 20 miles per hour on most roads. The roads were completely dead at this point though, most likely because everyone was smart enough to go home before the snow accumulated. Eventually I turned onto a main road that I'm sure would usually be bustling, but at 11:15 on Christmas Eve night, there wasn't a single car or a single light from a store. It was a ghost town. But then I did notice the flashing taillights of one car. It was parked on the side of the road, and the smoke seeping out from its exhaust with the taillights giving it a red tint.
As I got closer, I realized there was somebody next to the car waving their hand in the air. I assumed something was wrong and they needed help. So, me being the good Samaritan I am, I pulled up behind the car.
I'ma pull up halfway in front of the car. I'ma lower that back right window. What's going on? You're not getting me out of my vehicle, bro. It's cold already.
When I opened my door, the guy approached me immediately, barely even giving me time to step out. He was an average-sized man, probably 5'10", 180 pounds. He spoke in a very demanding voice, asking me if I know anything about fixing an engine. I told him I didn't know much about cars.
I would have said, bro, you been here longer than me, bro. You don't?
The guy responded very quickly to everything I said. He told me it's fine. He went inside of his car for a second, popped open his trunk, came back out, and told me to just wait by the trunk for a second. I had no idea what he wanted me to do. I was really confused. He walked over to the front of his car, and I heard him open the hood. I couldn't see anything he was doing since the trunk was blocking my view, and the loud wind of the snowstorm overpowered any small noises he might have been making. I put my hand on the back of the car and leaned my body in anticipation, when suddenly I heard 3 or 4 quick and aggressive footsteps in the snow behind me before I was pushed into the trunk. The man tried to close the trunk on me, but I kicked my feet up in resistance and held it up. I was able to overpower him and kick the trunk open completely. As I took advantage of the few seconds I had to get out of the trunk, I took out my keys. He tried to grab me now, and I dug my house key right into his neck.
Okay.
He fell to his knees, and his scream echoed down the deserted street.
That's self-defense, bro.
I was in my car and halfway down the road before he could even get up from his knees.
What? I would have backed that car into him and then pulled off, bro.
A little further down, I called 911 and reported the guy. I came back in 10 minutes to find blue and red lights illuminating the windows of the deserted stores. The police held him until the ambulance arrived for him. I watched the whole thing, and nothing ever felt better in my life. I got home safely half an hour later and told my family everything. I was still very shaken that Christmas, and this remains possibly the most horrific thing I've ever experienced.
Well, hey, look, not gonna lie, I never really got scared, bro. In all honesty, I never got scared. But that's the end of this one. I'm gonna leave y'all with this right here. God got a plan for you. So, if you in tough times right now, bro, just weather through it, bro. Bro, stay strong, bro. Get through it, bro. You're gonna get through it, bro. God got a plan for you. We cannot understand his plan, but just know he always has the best intentions for you. So follow through, bro. Stay strong, and you're gonna get through whatever you gotta get through, man. I promise. It's as simple as that, bro. Trust God, bro. Put him first in your life, bro. You will never be steered wrong. Never. But peace, though.